All right, so we are back to structured training after the Arnold finally. We're in week 2 of being back on program. And if you don't follow me other places, or if you haven't seen, I'm actually going to be working with some new coaches now. Laws was great. I loved working with him. We made really great progress, so it was a hard decision. But ultimately what it came down to is I just missed working with someone in person. And my new coaches, duo, husband and wife, Dan and Tasha, are local. So we're going to get a lot more like hands-on work in person, which is just something I realized that I missed about the process, and I'm excited to have back. So Dan and Tasha I've known for a really long time. They're probably some of like the smartest people I've ever met. They're phenomenal coaches. Both have an athletic history in powerlifting. They did that for a really long time. That's actually how I met them back when I used to powerlift. And they both competed in strongman at this point. So they both done competitions. Tasha actually won the Arnold Amateur last year, so she has her lightweight pro card. And they're both just like really smart athletes, smart coaches, and I'm excited to see what we can do together. So this program is very different than stuff that I've done before, which is awesome. It's a very different training style, which keeps it interesting. Some days have been like really kind of easy, feel good movement days, and then some days have really kicked my ass. So it's been fun. It's been very different, very challenging. Today we have like a full body day. So our main movements, it looks like, are going to be deadlift block pulls, Viking press, and SSB reverse lunges, and then sprinkled in with some other upper body accessory work. We're still kind of in the depths of off season right now. So the next show that we're going to do is the Shaw Classic. We do have events for that, but it's so far out at this point that we don't really have to be hyper specific. So we're still kind of treating this as off season. Primary goals being just first and foremost to get my body feeling good and kind of addressing some issues that I've had to kind of ignore just it being in contest prep. So we're going to kind of slow down, pull it back, fix some nagging issues that really just need to be addressed, getting me moving better, and then secondary is just getting bigger and stronger so that I can be more competitive in the open class. We're committing to staying in the open class this year, which means that I just need to get stronger. I think in general I have held up pretty well just because I am, decently strong and very athletic and quick. And if I want to do well at these shows, I need to be bigger and I need to have more static strength. And so kind of prioritizing that this year as well, trying to catch up so that I can hang with the big girls. So I'm going to go start getting warmed up. I'll show you some of my warm-ups because it's some different stuff, which is really cool. Starting with some foam rolling and stretching, which I'm not going to video, but then when we get into the more dynamic warm-up stuff, I'll see you then as we get ready for deadlifting, which is going to be our first main movement. All right, so I just started with foam rolling my T-spine, lats, glutes, and calves. Did some lat stretching. And today's warm-ups actually aren't too crazy. Some of the other days have had some like really cool dynamic warm-ups. Today's not too involved, but still some cool warm-ups. We're going to start with a serratus plank. So elbows out. I'm just going from knees, but focusing on driving the elbows out away from me and then drawing the chest and belly button up. Doing reps, 5 reps with a 10-second hold each time. So driving out with the elbows, up with the belly button and chest. We're going to hold for 10 seconds. And relax. Doing 5 there. All right, then we got a dead bug with the kettlebell pullover. So setting up like a dead bug. The kettlebell is going to go back and touch the ground each rep. Letting it pull me into a lat stretch and not letting the low back come off the ground. All right, number 3 is one that I've shown before. It's a banded thoracic extension from a squat. So the band's going around my upper back right under my armpits. We're gonna let the T-spine round forward. And then we're working on T-spine extension, sternum up, hold for a second while staying loaded in that squat position. This is a really cool deadlift warm-up if you have a hard time with your chest caving and thoracic extension. And then just gonna finish it off with the kettlebell swing. So just those 4 warm-up exercises. We're gonna do one more round of those and then we'll start deadlifting. All right, so game plan is we're working up to a top set of 5 off 3-inch blocks today. So 5 rep max-ish, keeping them technical and leaving 1 or 2 reps in reserve. So like an RPE 8, but keeping them pretty. So I haven't really lifted, especially deadlifted anything heavy since the Arnold. So I don't really have any sort of number in mind. We're just gonna bring it up kind of slowish, see how the body's feeling. This height sucks. I guess the 12-inch height, 12 to 14 is kind of my least favorite height. It's very sticky, and it's kind of hard for me to find the leg drive in that position. So I don't really know what to shoot for today, but gonna focus on keeping them leggy and keeping my sternum up, driving with my sternum and not letting my chest collapse, I think are the things that I'm gonna focus on most today. All right, so I pulled up to 315 for 3 so far. Positions are actually feeling really good. The weight is starting to feel heavy. It's moving fine, but it feels heavy. I think more just because I haven't had this much weight in my hand for a while. So relatively, it's feeling hard, but it's still moving well. Positions feel honestly great. This is my first set that I will be filming, so this is the first time I'll actually take a look at it, but feeling the bar path is feeling very, very smooth, very clean, feeling like I'm leading with my chest really well, feeling it very much in my legs, my quads, and my glutes. A little bit of an SI pull just because I always get that a little bit at this height. It doesn't feel like my low back is working excessively. I'm just feeling a little bit of like a SI twinge, which I always kind of get when I have a bar height starting in that like 12 to 14 inch range. But besides that, it's really not bad, and I'm happy with how positions are feeling. So we have 365 on the bar right now. I'll probably pull this for a triple and then try to kind of gauge where to go for the top set of 5 from there. They felt smooth, a little bit slower, but not a whole lot slower. So I'm going to look at the video first before deciding kind of where to go with the weight. All right, so I watched the video back and I think they looked as good as they've been feeling. Super, super happy with the positions on those, especially reps 1 and 3. The second one, I think it pulled me forward slightly. It was very minor, almost not detectable, but it was there. So being aware of that. But the first rep I thought was beautiful. Really no notes for myself on that one. And just remembering when I reset between reps to be patient with that start position so that they all look the same. The weight's feeling good and moving good. My right SI is starting to flare up a little bit, kind of as expected. It's not terrible, but I do think I need to be selective with the number of reps I do from this point on. So I'm gonna probably just pull 1 rep here at 405, and then at that point decide on a top set. Unless that 1 rep ends up feeling way harder than I expect, I might just do my 5 here. But the way that they've been looking and feeling, I'm expecting to be a little bit higher than this. So we'll just do 1 rep here, and then make a decision. All right, so based on how that felt, it did feel a little bit slower, but position still felt good. I haven't watched the video yet, so I'm gonna go watch the video before like final deciding, but I'm guessing I'm probably gonna end up like 425 for 5 for my top set. But I'll watch the video first and then decide. right, so we did end up with 425 for the top set of the day, and I'm super happy with that. I know it's not like super crazy on the weight, but I'm really happy with it being like the first day back deadlifting heavy in 6 weeks since the Arnold, after not really doing anything heavy for a while. So I would have been happy with anything over 400 today, so 425. Thrilled. Happy with how they felt. The first rep did pull me forward a little bit, but I think I did a good job of correcting it on the reps after that. And really proud of the patience with positions. I know I have a tendency once it starts to get hard to just like yank it off the floor in the way that feels, natural, and we're resorting back to like poor mechanics. And I'm really happy with how technical the reps stayed throughout the set, even as it started to feel hard. So yeah, I'm really happy with that. We don't have any drop downs there. It's just a top set of 5. It's hard to tell from just the first 2 weeks of the program, because I've only seen the first 2 weeks, but it seems like we might be doing kind of like a cube method-ish undulating periodization type program. Hard to know at this point. I had speed deadlifts last week. We had heavy deadlifts this week. So I'm interested to see if next week we have volume deadlifts, which is going to be my least favorite day, but hard to know at this point. But thrilled with that. So we're going to tear down that. My SI is still a little bit funky feeling, but it didn't get any worse after that set. So I'm super happy with that. Usually once it kind of starts to get finicky, it escalates quickly. But I think my diligence with positions on those reps really helped that. So we have Viking press next. I'm going to get that warmed up, and then I'll meet you back once we get to the working sets and talk about what we're doing. So now we're moving on to Viking press. It is a superset with RNT dumbbell rows. So we have 3 rounds here. On Viking, the plate math worked out to 172 in hand. We have an AMRAP-ish, leaving 2 to 3 reps in reserve. We're going to take a 30 to 60 second break and then go over and do some RNT dumbbell rows. So I'll show you those. 3 rounds, we'll probably show you the first and last sets here. All right, and then for these dumbbell rows, we're gonna do them front banded. So I'm gonna take the band and loop it around my wrist, grab the dumbbell so that there's tension on it from the start, and then we're gonna drive up and back against the band. I think we're doing sets of 10 to 12 here. All right, and then we're supposed to take 1 to 2 minutes between rounds. So I'm gonna take my break, do another round of the Viking, and then I'll see you back for set 3. 2-minute rest goes by fast. First set, I got 7 reps here. The second set, I think I got a little bit better rhythm and I got 8. So this will be my 3rd round of the Viking press. And you guys already saw the rows, so I'm not gonna show this again. All right, so that's a wrap there. It's a little bit hard to determine reps in reserve on the Viking press because it's the kind of movement where I can grind through some really shitty looking reps if I need to. So I tried to stop like 2 or 3 reps shy of where I could still do good reps. But it's kind of hard to tell where that is. The wall hits kind of hard and fast on that event, but that felt appropriate. I got 7, 8, 6 reps there. And then that dumbbell row variation, I haven't actually done it that way myself. I love it. If you have a hard time feeling your lats in a dumbbell row, highly suggest trying that out. It's a really good variation. I think I've got some Hatfield SSB reverse lunges next. We're gonna see how my knee feels. My left knee's been feeling a little bit unstable, so they said if that was still feeling finicky, I think there's a substitution in there to do instead. And then that supersetted with something that I don't remember, but I'm going to go warm up for that, see how my knee's feeling, and then I'll see you back when we get to that superset, whatever it is. All right, so fast forward to third set here out of 3. It's the same kind of time or rest time scheme as the last superset with 1 to 2 minutes in between rounds, 30 to 60 seconds between sets. So the SSB Hatfield squats we're doing at 165 for 8 per leg. My left knee is still feeling a little bit wonky, but as long as I take them slow and really focus on not letting my knee collapse in, they're feeling okay. So this will be the last set here, and then we're gonna go over to some dumbbell rows. All right, and then we're going over for some chest supported incline or chest supported high rows. So you're going chest supported instead of pulling elbows back or rowing elbows up. I'm not going to film that. We're just doing light-ish sets of 12 to 15 there. All right, and that's it for the main movement type stuff for the day. I have a couple accessories left, but my battery's about to die and I'm on a time crunch. So I'm just gonna kind of power through those, and I won't be able to film them, but it's just 2 Copenhagen plank Powell raises. So Copenhagen plank position, we're doing like a side rear delt fly Powell raise from that. 2 sets of 12 to 15 per side. And then we're supersetting that with dumbbell JM presses. So laying on the bench, kind of coming down JM skull crusher-ish with more elbow angle with dumbbells. I'll try to film those next time so you can see them. But I've got 2 sets of 60 seconds with a 3-second eccentric on every rep. And then the notes say that if at some point during the minute the concentric, the up part of the lift fails, to just keep performing the eccentric for the rest of the minute, and then just kind of go to the chest and roll it back up, so that we get that full minute even if I hit failure. So that's gonna suck. That's gonna be really like tricep pumpy. But I only have 2 sets of each of those things, and then a cool down. That's something that's kind of new to me. I haven't really ever done much of a cool down after training. And every single day they have actually a prescribed cool down. Today it's just some 90-90 hook laying. So like on my back with my feet up at 90 and doing some box breathing. So that's never really something that I've had like written into my program before. And I kind of like it. It leaves me feeling the gym a little bit better each day. So that's been a cool addition. So I'm going to power through the rest of this. And then I'll see you for one of my days next week, or maybe even tomorrow. I think I have some conditioning tomorrow that might be kind of fun to film. So I might see you back for that. But as always, like, comment, share, make sure you subscribe so that you know when new videos drop. I'm going to try to be better about kind of bringing you through some of my off season. I won't vlog all of my sessions because that would be my entire life would be filming and editing videos. But I'm going to try to do at least once a week, kind of bring you through some of the off-season process so you can see what training looks like when we're not like prepping for something specifically. And then probably not too far from here, we're going to be into Shaw prep. So we'll be able to do that together. Really excited about some new stuff. Make sure you give Dan and Tasha a follow. I'll link their like YouTube and Instagrams in the caption somewhere so that you can check them out. They put out a lot of really good educational information. And I'm about to run out of battery. So that's going to be it for the day, but I'll see you next time. Bye.